Hi everybody, I'm David Ozovicki, and I'm going to talk about the clinical risk prediction of intensive care for a patient with COVID-19. So very briefly, who am I? I'm a student at INSA Lyon in electrical engineering department, specialized in digital signal and image processing, and I'm doing at the same time a master in health engineering named MIS, which means medical imaging signal and system. So I'm doing my internship at Creatis, which is a research center in image acquisition and processing for health, supervised by Thomas Grenier. And my project is in collaboration with Les Hospices Civils de Lyon. So as I said before, the goal of my project is to predict if patients with COVID-19 will have complication or not. We know that people with more complication was the elderly or the obese. And often these patients have also sarcopenia. In fact, to predict if the patient will have complication or not, we're gonna see if the patient have sarcopenia. So sarcopenia is a disease which causes loss of muscle and strength. As you can see here, a man at 63 years old and a man at 79 years old, he was doing the same effort during all the years, but he lose muscles because of his age. And to be really clear, when you have a lack of muscle or more load to carry, it causes breathing difficulties. So to detect and diagnose sarcopenia, we have to do a muscle to fat ratio measurement. And to do that, we use a CT scan. So CT scans is a computed tomography scan. As you can see on the left here, we're gonna use an X-ray source and some detectors. The beam of the X-ray source will go through the body of the patient, and thanks to the different attenuation of the tissue, we can distinguish if it's muscle, fat, or bone. So here we're gonna have an example of a CT scan. And if we focus more on the details, we can see here the muscle, and in more dark, the fat. So my goal is to make segmentation thanks to deep learning. But for that, I don't know if you are aware about it, we need a big database and we need manual segmentations. The manual segmentation was made by a medical intern named Thibaut Pariente. He made it at the vertebral level. And as you can see here, it's a very laborious work with just this segmentation. Here the video is accelerated 8 times. So the different segmentation that he made was the rectus abdominis, which is a muscle, paravertebral, another muscle, intercostal, another muscle between the rib, the bone, with here the backbone, and finally the fat. But as I said, it's a very laborious work, and to segment the fat and the bone, he used a threshold, but it creates a lot of information that can be useless or false. For example, here, the bed is segmented in blue. That means it's bone. Here we also have this artifact. We got the arms and also all inside the body, which is useless for us. That's why I have to make the preprocess. So here we got original data. Then I use a UNet, which is a neural network, to make the trunk extraction. So as we can see here, we lose the bed and the arms. After I made another extraction with another neural network, I made a ribcage extraction, so we can see that we lose all the information useless inside the body. And finally, we got our predicted data here. So as I said, to make this extraction, I use a UNet architecture, which is a very common architecture for neural for segmentation. Sorry, it was made in 2015. And to evaluate my neural network, I use Dice coefficient, which is a double of the spatial overlap between the ground truth and the prediction divided by the sum of the ground truth and the prediction. So when it's 1, it's the best result, and 0 for the worst. Finally, here is a result of the segmentation. So I use another network named Attention Network that I adapt to a multi-class. It's a very current network. And here we got the result of the Dice coefficient tested on 40 slices. So we can see that we have a better result with the new neural network. But we got some difficulties to distinguish the muscle of the rectus abdominis and the intercostals. As you can see here, the different error cause because it's difficult to distinguish the two muscles. So just to conclude, here we focused on patient with COVID-19, but we can focus after and open it to all the patients in intensive care with breath difficulties. Thanks for your attention.